What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Remote Control. I'm Robert, your host, and with me, as always, is the most handsomely beautiful, ugly man, Colton Bird.
Yay. Sorry, headphone users again.
So this week, we're going to talk about a few things that have come out in the news actually the past couple days. I've been really busy this weekend, so I didn't get to really prepare a great show, but the main core of this episode is going to be Justice League, and we're going to review it. We're going to spoil the crap out of it. But before we get to the spoiling and the reviews and the fun of Justice League, we're going to talk about a couple other news stories. We got an Incredibles 2 teaser.
I'm really hyped about that.
We got some Thor news on surpassing a certain dollar mark. We got a new Ant-Man suit look. We saw a couple episodes of The Punisher. So there's a lot of things that we can talk about prior to Justice League. We're going to talk about first, and then we're going to dump. We're going to dump in. We're going to jump in.
We're just going to dump. We're going to squat down over the toilet and dump all over it.
We're going to jump into our Justice League review, where we're going to spoil the crap out of it and talk about what we loved, what we hated, why the critics suck, and everything like that. So let's go with it. Incredibles 2 teaser. Did you see it, Colton?
Yes, with Baby Jack.
Baby Jack. Look,
I still don't like that he has laser beams, but I'm okay with him having powers.
We saw he had a bunch of powers in the first movie.
I want him to be like a flame. I want to be like...
I've waited, 12 years, 11 years, however long it's been. I've waited for this movie.
I can honestly say I've waited legitimately half of my life for this.
I mean, Incredibles was, in my opinion, for the longest time, the best superhero movie to ever come out. Like, it was that good. It was amazing. They got the Fantastic Four right. That's essentially the Fantastic Four, and they got it right. So I love the Incredibles. I cannot wait for Incredibles 2. I've been asking for it. Why did they make 3 Cars movies before Incredibles 2 is beyond me? But they're finally getting to
Disney.
it.
Well, no,
it's going to be
Pixar.
awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Disney and Pixar, both together, essentially. It's a subsidiary of Disney. But
no, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Isn't it going to be like a direct sequel from the first one? Like the ending of the first one?
Yeah, I've heard rumor that it just picks up right at the end of the first one. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
What was his name? Mole Man or something like that?
Yeah. I can't wait. I just can't wait. I that might be... I'm looking more forward to Incredibles 2 than I am Han Solo next summer. So,
same. And I'm the Star Wars guy.
Yeah. So I can't wait.
I gotta rewatch the first one now.
What, Incredibles?
Yeah.
No, dude, I watched it so many. When I worked at Hollywood Video back in the late 2000s, like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, one of those all of the jobs you've ever worked at.
That was one of the DVDs. Now, they were always like, hey, you got to put on this preview DVD and just listen to the same 35-minute previews over and over again while you work 8 hours. No, that's not what I did. No. I threw in movies all the time, and Incredibles was one. It was on at least once a week, if not more. I had my set movies, like Star Wars, Incredibles, Back to the Future, High School Musical. Like, I had certain things I would put on. Yes, Colton, I do enjoy the High School Musical movies. I'm sorry, I do.
First one was good. Don't tell me you like the second one.
The second one is the worst. I actually prefer the third one over the other two. I think the third one is better.
Why are two grown men about to fight about High School Musical?
Only if John was here. If John Phelan was here again, he would be on my side. He's a big fan of this films also.
I like the first one. The first one was the only good one.
The first one is good, but the
second one was poo.
The third one had the better music. The first one, I think, had the better story, which is kind of odd.
And I'm in it for the story. Because we're all in this together. I don't care. We're all in this together. Gets up and does the dance. Throw me a basketball. I have no basketball talent, but I'll try.
Oh, boy.
Bolton, Colton, there's a reason that rhymes.
All right.
That was a rant I don't know why I went on.
Oh, man. All right, so moving on from the Disney Incredible stuff, which, again, looking forward to it. Check out the teaser if you haven't seen it. You can find it on YouTube.
If you can spare like 20 seconds of your time.
It's going to be attached to the release of Coco this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So you can check it out if you're going to take your kids to see Coco. I'm actually going to take my daughter to see it. I took my kids to see Justice League this past weekend.
Your sons?
My sons. Well, I took my daughter also, but She only got into it when, spoilers, Superman came back, and she was like, "Oh, look, Superman!" I was like, "Yeah, that's the only time that she kept calling Wonder Woman Batwoman." So she doesn't quite. She's 3, so
her name's Harley Quinn.
And her name is Harley Quinn, so she
she should understand.
She knows who Harley Quinn is. Let me tell you, like she comes over to my house, she sees Suicide Squad, she's like, "Harley Quinn, want to watch?"
Yeah, but so is Margot Robbie. I would know Harley Quinn too. I'd like to know her on a personal
but
level.
yeah, I'm taking her next weekend to go see Coco.
Movie? I know I ask it all the time. Isn't that the movie about the journey through death or whatever?
Yeah, we saw that trailer. It was weird. The Mexican Hispanic movie,
the whole you don't really die after death and stuff.
The previews have come back and they're like, if you don't cry in this movie, you have no heart. So
challenge accepted because I don't have a heart. No, I'll probably go see it.
So last week we talked a lot about the Disney deal, talking to 21st, 20th, whatever it's called, Century Fox, and possibly buying it. One of the things I said during that podcast is I would not be surprised if we saw another company jump in and either try to take the whole thing or buy little aspects of it, like Fox may divvy it up, like here's some to Sony, here's some to Disney, here's some to there, here's some to there.
Lo and behold, we get the Alien series.
Yeah, we get it. Like, we're getting it.
That would be awesome.
But it seems what happened is exactly what I said. Sony has jumped in and started talking to Fox about purchasing 21st Century Fox. Not surprised. Is it going to happen? Look, I still believe Disney's going to get their Marvel properties back. I think right now 21st Century Fox is in a position of power. Mm-hmm. So they can be like, look, Disney, you want this stuff? How much you want to pay? Oh, look, Sony, how much you want to pay? So now it's going to be a bidding war, and then you may have another company jump in at some point, And
then it's going to become a pissing contest.
Exactly, and I think what it's going to come down to is I would not be surprised if we saw properties getting split from Fox. We're going to see, the Marvel characters go to Disney. We'll see maybe some other properties go to Disney. I think they're looking for a few more TV-centric shows to put on their streaming service, so we may see some of their non-edgier TV shows go that route, and then Sony may get the rest. Or we may have a third party jump in and they get a handful of things. Who knows? But I think, again, this is all going to be done. My opinion is this is all going to be done before the end of 2018. So we got a year. I think within the next year, we're going to see this all completed in some form or fashion.
We're going to end up with a series. We're going to make it awesome. No, I'm telling you, Disney's going to
call the remote control. They're going to be like, hey, remote control guys, we keep hearing your podcast. We hear you really, or not Disney, Fox. Fox is going to call us and be like, we hear that you're disappointed with the Alien franchise. So here you guys go. That's what's going to happen.
Here's our charity case.
Yeah.
No, I think Disney's going to do it.
They're going to do that. They're going to do that because they're like, look, we don't want to deal with Ridley Scott anymore, so you guys can have him.
We're going to get Disney's going to get it. Disney's going to call us because we're going to be a third party studio.
Oh, okay.
Get it? Under the Bridge Productions. Boom.
There you go.
And that's how we jump into stardom.
Oh, man. Excuse me. So, I don't know what you guys think. I know, like I said, we talked a lot about it last week. So let us know what you think in the comments, in the group, on Twitter, all that kind of fun stuff. Next story, sticking with Disney. Thor has surpassed the $700 million mark. Not a surprise.
Yeah, I was going to say
Thor was a good movie. It was. I'm not going to sit here and say it was bad. It was far from bad. It was a good movie. Deservingly so. It's made $700 million. It's not going to make $1 billion, but
it came damn near close.
Yeah, I mean, it's making what I think it should make. Essentially, I think it should. Around the $600-700 million mark. I mean, it's probably going to make closer to $850 probably at this point because it's still got probably another month and a half run in it.
Yeah,
but
before Star Wars comes in and destroys it.
Yeah, once Star Wars comes out,
that's when we'll know the final number.
Yeah, no one's going to really care about Thor at that point.
Unless there's people like us that have the movie pass. Oh, we've seen everything in theaters and don't really feel like watching Star Wars for the 10th time. Go see Thor.
I don't think that's going to be possible.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta give some optimism.
So, Paul Rudd has revealed the new Ant-Man suit. He did a little promotional piece, and he was wearing the new Ant-Man suits. It looks like Ant-Man. I mean, there's nothing much that I can really say about it. He had a new suit in Civil War. Of course, he's going to have a new suit now. It seems to be the Marvel thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that why are they giving out so many new suits? Like, every superhero, every movie gets a new suit.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing now with Marvel. They're kind of falling into the habit of the old Batman from the 90s, where soon we're going to see nipples on the Ant-Man suit or nipples on the Iron Man suit or something.
That would be awesome. Just laser beams come out of the Iron Man suit.
Honestly,
no repulsors, so he's just like, "Woo!"
That's the one thing that I really enjoyed about, we're going to get into Justice League. I mean, Wonder Woman has been in 3 movies now, and her suit hasn't changed slightly. There's been slight variations, but
it's still basically the same suit.
Basically same. And Batman, I mean, yeah, he does wear a new suit in Justice League, a brand new suit. I'm going to get into that in the thing, but I mean, for the majority of the movie, it was the same suit as the last movie. So, I mean, I don't know why they feel like they have to always change their suits. Yes, Superman has had a different suit in each movie, but there's a reason for that, which I'm going to talk about in the review.
Yes. Well, if you couldn't tell, this is going to be a DC-centric.
I'm rushing.
Or Justice League-centric.
Yeah, I'm kind of rushing through some of these stories here because, I mean, there wasn't much I really want to talk about. Like I said, I didn't get to put together a great show, and I really just want to talk Justice League.
So. For once, Star Wars talk is put together better than TRC. Mark the day.
Did you check out Punisher at all?
I meant to. I couldn't keep my eyes open. Normally when I watch shows like that, it's like right before I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I can get like a good episode or 2 in, and then I can switch to like, Big Mouth or Brickleberry or something. I can give 2 shits less about falling asleep.
Yeah. I with all the craziness of going to see Justice League 3 times this weekend and hanging out with my family, which it's important. Like, I'm not saying that this isn't important. Spending time with my kids. I got to see my 2 new nieces. My brother and sister-in-law had twins a couple weeks ago, so I finally got to go meet them. Adorable. It's weird having twins in the family now, so I got to see them. That kind of stuff. It was nice to spend time with family. So I didn't really get a chance to do a lot of watching TV this weekend. I did, however, get a chance to see 2.5 episodes of Punisher. Now, it's crazy because this is the first Netflix show that I've really, really enjoyed that I have not binged in the first day or 2. So it's like, it's hard for me. Like, I'm like sitting here like, I need to watch it. I got a new schedule at work, so I'm working at different times.
Your more forgiving than mine.
So I now work day shift as opposed to night shift. I used to work 3 to 11. Now I work like 9 to 5, and that just started today. So I'm just way out of whack. So my mind, I'm exhausted. So
Welcome to my world.
I will get through Punisher probably by Wednesday or Thursday. And, we'll definitely talk more about it next week. Like I said,
I should have a couple episodes.
Yeah, and I saw the first 2 episodes completely. About a quarter, maybe half of the 3rd episode. I really, really like it. John Bernthal was excellent as the Punisher.
Some may say his performance is punishing.
No, but I said that from Daredevil season 2. I thought he was excellent in that. So he's just continuing and pushing forward the character. And yeah, they've changed the backstory of the Punisher slightly, but
it's not too...
I don't care. Like, I don't want to see the same thing over and over again.
Exactly.
And that's why a lot of comic book people always flip out about, like, they should have done it just like the comics. No, you don't always need to do it like the comics. Let there be something different. Like, if it's the same as the comics all the time, what's the point in watching?
And then you're going to bitch that it's the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Exactly. So what I've seen so far, I've really enjoyed. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. It is 12 episodes, which
that's not bad.
I swear they told us, or maybe it's 13, but I swear they told us it was going to be 9 episodes like a year ago, but hopefully it doesn't fall into the same habit as all the other ones. I've seen a lot of people who have binged it and reviewed it, and they've said that it's excellent, that it's the best of the Marvel Netflix shows. So I hope it is. I really do, because Iron Fist was disappointing. Defenders was good, but it wasn't great. It was good, not great. The last really good one, I think, was Jessica Jones. I really, really loved that, and that's, 2 years ago. So
yeah, I just renewed my Netflix account, so I'm really far behind.
But with that all said,
excuse me,
we're going to jump onto the Justice League train here. And first, before we get into our review, I want to say this. All right, so Justice League was predicted to make about $104 to $106 million its opening weekend, so the first 3 days. That's what it was predicted to make.
So that's not rolling out like when we saw it Thursday.
That's called early showings. That actually goes into the Friday night.
Oh, so that's accounted to Friday.
Yes, yeah.
Because they got a lot of money. Well, they didn't get a lot of money.
So it was predicted to make 105, 106, something like that, $1 million, which would be low, still, like lower than what it should have made. But it actually did a lot lower than that. It made $94 million the first 3 days, which is the lowest opening for a DC movie, and it's way below expectations. So what is the problem? Why did it make that low of money? Now, a lot of things are coming out about Rotten Tomatoes. Now,
fucking Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes has this, if you don't know, they have what's called a tomato meter. Essentially, anything
More
above
like an autism.
anything above, what is it, 60% is considered fresh.
Yeah.
Anything below 60% is what's called rotten, and it's a score. So it's 1 to 100. So each critic, who can be a big name in magazines, on blogs, on TV, whatever, they have the ability to go on Rotten Tomatoes and give a rating and a review. And a lot of these critics reviewed it very poorly. Why? I don't know. Because the 3 times I went and saw this movie, the theater was full each time. Maybe the second time not as full as the first and the third time.
Yeah,
but
when we accidentally got the
VIP seats. But when we went, they were pretty full. People laughed, people cheered, people were excited about this
ovations.
movie. So why the critics don't like it, I don't know. But do you think Rotten Tomatoes had a point, or not a point, but do you think they're the reason, Rotten Tomatoes and their scores are the reason for this $94 million box office?
I gotta comb my beard here because this is gonna be a fucking rant. I blame the way society has become, because God forbid we do anything without knowing everything about it first. You have to go check places like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and other review sites before you go see a movie, regardless if you're a fan of it or not. So you walk in already with a bad taste, and that's already deterring people from seeing the movie. Why? Just, oh hey, superhero movie. Or, oh, hey, we're going out on a date. You just want to go see Justice League? Why can't we just go do that? No, we got to go, oh, hey, you want to go on a date? Let me check Rotten Tomatoes first, because apparently 3 people's opinions fucking matter.
And what sucks, though, is it's not even you have to go on Rotten Tomatoes anymore. You Google it. You Google Justice League right now. It'll pop up with the Rotten Tomatoes score. That's what it's become. Look, I'm all for critics. Criticism, I'm all for it. I love critiquing films. I love sitting there looking at it and giving my review. That's what we do on this podcast a lot.
Exactly.
We review films and we talk about what we do and what we don't like. I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I'm not out there to destroy a movie.
Exactly.
If you want to see it, go see it. Absolutely. I don't want to destroy a film because they put a lot of work into this. And
there's hundreds of millions of dollars being played with for someone to go, I didn't like it because, I don't really want to go into the review yet, but so-and-so, Superman's bad CGI'd mustache, a non-mustache, was awful. It ruined the whole movie.
And it doesn't.
Exactly.
But it's stupid stuff like that people...
Or there will be a review. It's not Marvel. 0%. Yeah. And that's the dumb shit that's ruining the film industry.
Exactly. And there was a time when, before Rotten Tomatoes, where a bad movie would come out, and you would see the reviews in the newspaper. Yes, people, there's a thing called a newspaper that reviews actually came up in. It was local people, local newspaper writers. They would review, the films.
They would literally get paid to go see a film.
Yeah, they would get paid. They would go see the film and write an article in the local paper reviewing the film. And that's what people would go off of. But it never hurt the box office like it has now.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying this just because it's a DC movie and I'm a DC fanboy, because I am. I'm a DC fanboy. I love DC, but I do love Marvel also. The thing is when you sit there and these critics go, Batman vs. Superman was too dark and gritty, and then they come back and say, Justice League was too lighthearted and silly.
Yes,
what the hell do you want?
Exactly. I mean, I've had my flaws with Justice League. I say it was too Marvel-y. There was too much comedy. It was a serious film that needed to be serious. That's for later, though.
Yes.
That still shouldn't mean that, oh, hey, not Marvel, hey, Batman vs. Superman, too dark, too gritty, so we're going to lighten it up a little bit. Oh, now it's too fun. We can't, this, that, and the other. What the fuck? Now I'm knocking my fucking mic over. It's got me pissed off now. No, because it's fucking stupid. It's coming from a filmmaker like a wannabe filmmaker.
Yeah.
Next production's gonna be a while from now. But that's the challenges I'm gonna have to face is, why are people fucking with shit because, oh, I didn't really like this, so everybody's gonna jump on his bandwagon because he has a name.
Yeah,
I just go see the fucking film and have your own opinion on it.
Yeah, I just, again, I get the people, because Batman vs Superman was so divisive, and people just they not everybody got it, you know.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be. We last week we did a whole episode about talking about all the DC films,
the DC show,
which
new
was
show
excellent.
we're starting.
Yeah. It was an excellent episode. If you're a DC fan, check it out because it was the lead up to the Justice League. We talked everything up to Justice League. We reviewed all the films. It was excellent. I'm not going to get into that now, but you know there were some people that did not understand Batman vs Superman and they turned them off from the series, and I get that. I understand that, but they probably, and I can't say for sure, but I'm sure some of these people that didn't quite get Batman vs Superman were still curious to see what was going to happen in Justice League.
Exactly.
They go and see these reviews, and see, oh, they got a 39 or whatever it is at now. Forget it. I'm not going there.
But if you look at the audience score, it's 82.
82, yeah.
So right then and there, you should already be like, okay.
And here's what's tough with Rotten Tomatoes, because then you have something like Wonder Woman on Rotten Tomatoes is certified fresh at like a 95%, and it's considered on Rotten Tomatoes as the best superhero movie ever on Rotten Tomatoes. Wonder Woman's a fantastic movie. I'm not going to take anything away from it, but it's not the best.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not going to say Justice League is better. I think it is better than Justice League, but Justice League is fantastic. If anything, it's just as good as Wonder Woman. Again, and maybe not. I mean, you know,
I have more beef with it than you do.
Yes, but my thing is that like it's not so far away from.
Yeah, it's not
60 points away from from Wonder Woman. If anything, it's 10 points off of Wonder Woman. It's not that bad. So what is it like? Justice League brought Wonder Woman. It was the Wonder Woman that we saw and loved in Wonder Woman. You know, she was the centric character of this film. You know, her and Batman, and Batman was something that all the critics loved from Batman vs Superman. So you get these two characters that everybody loved, and all of a sudden you give it a shitty rating.
Yeah, and it's not even like you could blame the Flash. The Flash was good. His comedy was tasteful. He honestly was probably, if you take Wonder Woman out, he was the best part. And then Cyborg, which had an interesting enough story to keep you entertained. I don't really want. Well, I mean, spoilers. Superman comes back.
Yeah.
And granted, when he comes back, I think that they could have brought his revival whole differently. But even then, like his character, as OP as he was, still wasn't awful. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I have my issues with Justice League. I do. I'm not saying it's a perfect film. It's not my top. It doesn't break the top 3 of the DC movies for me. Yeah, it's probably number 4, but out of 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not justifying.
But here's the way I would look at it. You look at 1, 2, 3, 4, and then way down there is 5. Like that's the way I look at it. It's not a bad movie. I've seen it 3 times. Each time, I've enjoyed certain aspects of it more and more. Yes, there's one aspect that I've actually disliked about it more and more each time I've seen it, but there's things that happen in this movie that are just like it's what I've dreamed of. It's a comic book nerd's dream.
Yes.
If you're a fan of these characters from the 90s, from the early 2000s, you're gonna get joy in this movie. There's just, you have fun. It's a good time. That's what all the critics wanted. They wanted to have fun and a good time with a DC movie. You get it, and then you shit on it. Like, I don't get it.
It's because it doesn't have a God of Thunder, and it doesn't have what's the name of that song?
Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, it doesn't have Zeppelin playing in it, and it doesn't have a whole bunch of fanboys that are used to the stereotypical superhero movie.
Yeah, I mean,
that's honestly all that I can explain to you at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not. I mean, when the fans are saying that they love it, and it's got an 82% fan rating, and the critics are saying they hate it, and it's got a 38 and 39% rating, there's a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah.
What is the disconnect? Because it's the complete opposite of Batman vs Superman, which is what they said they wanted. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious. Like, there's no way to ever find this out.
Goes on, purchases IMDb Premium, finds the easiest reviewer, and just proceeds to rip him a new asshole.
No, what I want to know is what they would have said if we wouldn't have had we would have had a true Zack Snyder film.
I wish we would have.
What the critics would have said.
My thing is,
and I'm not saying that this is not a Zack Snyder film. It is very much a Zack Snyder film, but there's definitely aspects of it that are very wedding. So
now let's flip it. Now let's say an Avengers movie was made exactly like this. What would the reviewers say.
The Avengers movie there was an Avengers movie made like this. The Avengers.
Well, you know what I mean.
But I mean, again,
and then look at all the praise it got.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know what DC and Warner Brothers can do at this point to satisfy everybody. I think they need to just stop trying to satisfy everybody.
You already have a fan base. Do what you have to do. Do what you want to do.
I think their best route to go at this point, in my opinion, and we're going to get to the Justice League review here shortly. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, this was a rant. This is our weekly rant here.
They may want to look like Shazam. I don't know how much Shazam is going to cost to make. Maybe $100 million. Mm-hmm. Try and stick to $100 million or less for making their movies, so they make money back, on these lower budgeted movies.
Yep.
And then every once in a while do a Justice League.
Yeah, buy into a full one.
But don't worry about the critics.
Yeah.
Make the movie. Allow the filmmaker to make the movie. Allow a Zack Snyder to actually make his movie. Don't care what the critics are going to say. Don't care about anything like that. Throw $300 million into a movie. Yeah, you'll make that $400 million back, probably more, but you're not going to get the $1 billion that Marvel's getting. But you're making good stories. Like,
you're making something that you can be content with.
Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. Those two movies together make an awesome Superman arc on top of Justice League, which finishes it off. It's a great arc that Zack Snyder created. Who the fuck cares if the critics didn't like Batman vs Superman? They should have allowed Zack Snyder to finish his vision. Now, I know that there's circumstances that caused him to have to step away, but how much did they then change after he stepped away is my question. We're just going to jump into the review here. Did Josh Whedon have more say and more to do with all these reshoots that really lightened up the movie? And, the reshoots, you can tell where there were certain reshoots because, like, in one of the first trailers, we saw Bruce Wayne talking to Arthur Curry, I don't know where it was, in Alaska or wherever it was. And he's talking to Arthur Curry. In the first trailer, his face is shaped differently. He's got a different hairstyle. And then the reshot, it's completely different. And it's a lot more lighthearted than what we remember. So, that's kind of a big tonal shift right there because you're changing Batman now at that time. And, I know Batman changed at the end of Batman vs Superman to not be as grim and brooding.
I am the night.
But he should not be quippy like he became in this movie. And while I still love a lot of the movie, I think there were some issues with the
comedy,
the script, the dialogue. It was very Josh Whedon like,
So how was it? Itchy.
No, how did it feel to come back to life? Itchy. Look,
hold on. Let me just be an anti-boner real fucking quick.
So let me start it off here, guys, because I've talked about it a good bit. Now, this is a movie that I've waited almost 20 years for. Since I was a kid, I always enjoyed what DC has done with their characters, be it on paper or animation. The 2001 cartoon Justice League, as well as the follow-up Justice League Unlimited, for me, was must-see TV. You added those to the already established Batman the Animated Series as well as Superman the Animated Series, and we had our first real connected universe. Before Marvel, did it with their films, like this was a connected universe, just animated. I thought it was excellent. Now, in 2013, we were all brought to our feet as we witnessed a man fly in Snyder's masterpiece, in my opinion, masterpiece, Man of Steel. And just shy of 2 months later, we were told that this new world would be getting a lot bigger with the next film called Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice was added later, so it was Batman v Superman. Then entering 2016, Batman vs. Superman was my most anticipated movie of the year. And that March, just hours after I got my tooth pulled, I was in the theater, eagerly awaiting to watch these two mega heroes face off. And I couldn't handle it. I was so excited. And after 151 minutes, the man sitting next to me quickly jumped out of his seat and started clapping, giving it a standing ovation. But I couldn't help but think about how disappointed I was. I just sat there really? Did this really just happen? It was a few days later, I swear 2 days later, WB was like, oh, so you know how that movie you guys all hated? Well, we got a director's cut. It's going to be 3 hours. It's coming out in July. So just wait for that, or end of June. So that June 28th, I think it was, I remember being at work and it clicked. I was like, holy crap, the Ultimate Cut's out. I ran to my phone, I ordered it on my phone, and for my digitally, because it came out digitally, and I got it on Xbox so I could get home and watch it. And I was at work, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna start watching it here. And I started watching it on my phone at work, and it just got me more excited. So I got home, watched the ultimate cut, and while I still wasn't overly happy about what I saw there, I began to grow and gain an appreciation for what Snyder created. As I watched that movie more and more and more, Batman vs. Superman is one of my favorite movies, superhero movies. My worry that whole time was Justice League, because the theatrical version of Batman vs. Superman was so bad that Batman vs. Superman came out 3 days later. They were filming it, Justice League. Like, that's how quickly they started filming. So I was worried. I was like, shit, are they going to ruin Justice League? As I saw Batman vs. Superman, the ultimate cut, I started to calm down a little bit. And then it was a month later at Comic-Con where they're like, hey, here's the first footage. And I was like, holy shit, this is going to be amazing. Like,
you were not prepared.
I was not prepared for that. I could not wait. So, where am I at here? I
lost your whole train of thought.
So, again, what does all that have to do with my Justice League review? Look, this is a movie that I couldn't wait for. You know, the last year and a half, I've grown such an appreciation for Batman vs. Superman. It's one of my favorite movies. Man of Steel, in my opinion, is the best superhero movie to ever come out. You take that into account of how much I love these characters growing up. This is a movie I've waited for so long, and I went into this theater, and you can attest to this. I was giddy as shit.
Yes.
Like, I could not
Your
wait.
first seating was hilarious. I saw you out of my peripheral. You were like, that was funny.
Yeah, so there were like things like, again, this is spoiler filled, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, we're starting right now completely. That moment that they showed a Green Lantern, like, I was elbowing, he was like, dude!
Yes. And I like how they tastefully did it too. Like, we didn't see a Green Lantern in the Justice League, but it was a nice Easter egg and potential film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it was nice, and they just did it right. Zack Snyder.
And that's even something, if you do a Green Lantern film, you can reference that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is, even if they do another Wonder Woman film. Well, if.
Well, they are doing another Wonder Woman film. Yeah.
Well, with Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot.
Yeah, okay.
You can even reference, the Amazonians in that battle. Or, or Aquaman. They can do, the Atlanteans in the battle.
Yeah.
Which were badass. Vikings? I didn't see that one coming. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect Vikings.
So, here's the way that we're going to review it. So, this is the way that we review everything, any movie that we're, TV show, anything.
Hold on. You went into a whole big spiel about this. I will say one thing that disappointed me.
Okay.
No Martian Manhunters. Disappointed the shit out of me.
It with the review.
Disappointed.
So, we're going to break it down into 4 parts: story, directing, acting, and music. I'm going to save music for the end. But story-wise, honestly, what did you think about the story?
I liked it. I liked how they didn't really. They focused long enough on one character for you to know what was going on. Like Cyborg, we knew nothing about Cyborg before this, and
unless you watch cartoons, or read the comics and stuff.
But enough to be like, okay, this is how he became Cyborg and why he's kind of insecure about himself in the beginning. You watch him grow, and same thing with Flash. Like, Flash was just funny. Like, he was the comedic relief of the film, and that was good because Ezra Miller nailed it. Like, that was me hitting a nail on the head. Wonder Woman, I mean, she's still good.
Talking story, not characters.
Still good. No, I'm getting there. Batman, I felt was kind of like all over the place, character wise. Like, to the story, because like sometimes he was like, oh yeah, let's go kick ass, and the other time he was like all beat up and his shoulder was dislocated. He was like, I can't do this anymore. And then Superman, it was, we'll get into that one later, because I don't like how they revived him. Just get into that later. But story wise, I liked it. They could have written Steppenwolf better, but as a whole, it came together well. I wouldn't say it was the best story, but it was a good story.
Yeah, I mean, this movie isn't without its problems. It does have its issues. Like I said, it's not the greatest superhero movie ever. It's not the greatest comic book movie adaptation ever. It's good. It's a good movie.
Film.
It's a really good movie. It's an enjoyable film. The story is simplistic.
Yeah,
I mean,
like you
really
can't get
simple.
any. Okay, this is happening, so we got to do this to prevent this.
And
that's it.
Which makes it predictable.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that, whether you love Batman vs Superman or not, it's not a very predictable film.
Yes.
You know, like if you didn't get spoiled from the previews for Batman vs Superman, you would have had no idea that Doomsday was coming. You would have had no idea that Lex Luthor was pulling all the strings like that. So it wasn't very predictable. As you're watching the movie, you wouldn't have picked up on that until the moment. You know. Now, as we dive into this, like you said, Steppenwolf, I think that watching it 3 times, I picked up on what his true story is, and they don't dwell on it enough. Steppenwolf, his determination in acquiring all the mother boxes is all to have a chance at becoming one of the new gods, which is a great reference. If you're a fan of DC and you know who and what the new gods are, it's an excellent reference. But again, like I said, it was a lot hollower than it should have been.
They literally don't describe that at all, other than him finally getting them together.
What would have been cool, and maybe if there's ever an extended cut that we get or not, who knows? But what would have been nice is to see why he's so adamant about becoming a new god.
Exactly.
Like, why was he exiled? He talks about being exiled, and at first I thought he was talking about being exiled from Earth, but that made no sense.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't exiled from Earth. He's exiled from being a new god. Why? Is it because of his failure on Earth, however many thousand years ago, when he failed against the Amazonians, the clans of men, and the Atlanteans, and the Green Lanterns,
gods,
and the gods and stuff? Is it because he failed there that he was exiled? And does he think that coming back and taking over Earth with the mother boxes would get him back? If they would have delved into that and explained that would have given a lot deeper connection to the villain. And it would put him on par with being as interesting as Zod was.
Exactly. It was a missed opportunity.
Exactly.
Unless we get a director's cut or something.
You add 5-10 minutes at most, 10 minutes, and you can have that storyline while Diana's sitting there explaining to Bruce Wayne, so Steppenwolf came this one time, and blah, 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 blah.
And you just do a flashback.
And you do a flashback, and you see all this happening, and you see him being exiled. Obviously it's from her perspective, but it wasn't really her perspective because she was taught this. So she could have been taught, like, then he was exiled and blah blah blah, and they explain it like that. Then you would understand his motivation for doing what he's doing. It could have added 5-10 minutes to the movie, at most. So I think that was a missed opportunity. Not saying that Steppenwolf was bad. I really enjoyed his character. A lot of people complain about the CGI. It wasn't great on Steppenwolf. For some reason, Zack Snyder just loves big CGI villains. Doomsday, and there was in Man of Steel, the one brute was just a CGI character. So like he loves doing that for some reason. I don't know why. He just does, and I'm fine with it. I think that what I really enjoyed about Steppenwolf is he was a force to be reckoned with. Like the Justice League struggled with fighting him. I liked that. So Steppenwolf, while not great, he was good. He was a good enough villain. He was as good, if not better, than the mid-tier Marvel villain. Like
he was a B+.
Yeah. I think that they rushed. Again, this is all because the movie was just under 2 hours, but the team got united within 45 minutes.
Yeah, I did. That was another thing of mine. It's like, from what we heard, Cyborg's reluctant. Not really.
No, yeah, I mean,
like,
Cyborg is like, no, I don't want to, and then
5 minutes later, he's like, I guess I'll join you.
It's because his dad's taken. His father is taken by Steppenwolf, and he's like, okay, now I got to go save my father.
Yeah, but once you think I was just confronted by Wonder Woman, I don't want to do that. I want to do it by myself. Gets his ass kicked, and then realizes, oh, I don't really have an option.
Yeah, like that would have been better. That would have been cool for him to go and try and save his father, get his ass kicked, and then join the Justice League.
Yeah.
But again, you're adding another 10-15 minutes to the movie if you do something like that. Again, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, we just talked about it with Star Wars. 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is half of a day.
Yeah. But talking about Cyborg, I mean, we're still going to talk about this. Like I said, the rushing, getting the team together within 45 minutes did not hurt the film. It was, and it didn't hurt the experience. Cyborg story, you said it, I think was intriguing.
Yeah, isn't he getting a standalone film?
They announced it a while ago, but they have kind of rescinded that, so nobody really knows what's going on with Cyborg.
I would be interested.
What I really liked is, a lot of people complained about Cyborg and his suit, or not his suit, the way he looked, because it's not a suit, it's the way he looks. They were complaining about it. No, it's not the typical Cyborg. Well, no crap. At the very end of the movie, you see him. Yeah, it becomes the typical cyborg suit. He evolves. Yeah. And if you're a fan of the comics or the animated series, the same thing happens in Justice League War, which brings me to my next point. That opening scene with Batman on the rooftop. Look, if you've ever seen the movie called Justice League War, it was post New 52 coming out. It was basically how the Justice League formed with the New 52, and there's a scene in that movie where Batman is fighting a parademon in the streets of Gotham, as he's like hanging on a parademon and fighting it. And I swear to God, I thought it was going to happen, because in Justice League War, Green Lantern shows up and helps him. And I swear to God, at first I was like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Are they going to bring him in this quickly? They didn't, but now the scene didn't last as long as in the animated movie. It lasted like a minute, if that, in film. But it reminded you, it was straight off of that. Like, it came right from Justice League War, like that whole scene, and it was that excellent, because Batman is investigating these parademons, and he's trying to find out, just like in Justice League War. It fit perfectly. Like, to open the movie up like that just excited me so much. That got me excited. Yeah, that was awesome. Aquaman, I personally think that Aquaman was great, and he's so great that he leaves you wanting more.
Yeah.
And you can't wait for his movie next year. The thing that I loved about his story is going to Atlantis and meeting Mara, and played by Amber Heard, which, damn, is she hot.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
She is hot, and she fights Steppenwolf, and it's not a big fight, but she does that wave clap thing. I was like, holy crap, that's amazing! Like, the underwater stuff, I can't wait to see what they do in an Aquaman movie.
It was very well done.
Yeah,
very
definitely.
Well done.
And I was worried. I was concerned, like, how are they going to talk underwater? Like, how are they going to do that? And they did it really cool, where Mara actually creates this like vortex in it.
Yeah, a little air bubble.
An air bubble, essentially, and they stand there and they can talk and stuff like that.
And even really good attention to detail. He put his hand in the water, and the water was like moving around his hand.
And he was wet then.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, fine attention to detail.
Yeah, that was definitely excellent. The Flash, as you said, was the comedic relief. I thought he was great. I did feel like there was something missing from his story a little bit in the movie, and we found out there were some deleted scenes that found their way online via Reddit yesterday. And there's a couple scenes with the Flash where he saves Iris West and stuff like that, and it would have expanded his story a little bit. But again, they made him the comedic relief. I mean, he's a comedic character in the comics, on the cartoons, stuff like that. So it makes sense to make him the comedic relief. I don't think any moment was over the top with him. Maybe, if I were to say anything was a little bit annoying with his comedic, was when they entered the Batcave, and like the first time he ran and he came back, he was like, it's like a Batcave. I was like, that's funny. Yeah. And then he runs to the Batmobile and sits in the Batmobile. And I was like, okay, that's not bad. And then Bruce Wayne's like, Barry, and like treating him like a kid. And then he starts running around again. I'm like, all right, man, like,
you're like, calm down, Marvel. Calm down.
Two times, playing that joke, cool. The third time was pushing a little bit.
You're fucking a dead horse.
But again, it wasn't anything that was like turned me off from the movie. It was just like, okay, whatever.
It's like, calm down, Marvel.
It's not funny the third time, essentially. The chemistry between Batman and Wonder Woman, or Bruce and Diana, was there again, just like in Batman vs Superman. However, this is one of my smaller problems with the movie, was it seemed like Alfred at one point alluded to them having not like an emotional or relationship, or like a love relationship or anything, but he alluded to the idea of there being a relationship post Batman vs Superman, like they were talking in
they
connection in some way.
They went on a couple dates.
Not even that. No. Like there was some kind of relationship. Like they're better acquaintances than they were in Batman vs Superman, and they allude to it, and then when Diana comes to the Batcave, they're just like, hey, what's going on? You know, and she's like, yeah. Or he's like, you know, I paid a lot of money for that security system. She's like, yeah, I know. Okay. Like,
Yeah, that was an unnecessary line.
But I sit there and I'm like, so have you guys been talking over the last year? Or
I think that was one of those, we're going to hurry up and write in a joke type things.
Not even that, though. It's just like the whole thing with Alfred, and the way Alfred said something, you know, it was like, what was it? Like, it feels like there was something there, whether there was something written to allude to it on purpose or not. Because I remember there was an interview with Ben Affleck, and he was like, yeah, there was sexual tension between Diana and Bruce. There's one scene that I can think of where there's sexual tension between the two of them. And it's the moment where he's laying into her. He's like, you know, who did Steve Trevor say that or whatever. And while he's egging her on, like, he's doing it, and you can tell, like, the emotion between the two of them. You can tell, like, hey, there's something. And then boom, she pushes him. You're like, oh, fuck.
You're like, I'll be having what he's having.
But, you know, it was definitely something that I feel was missed. I think there could have been a lot more sexual tension there, something to build on a relationship.
Or a little bit more of an explanation or something.
Yeah. I mean, overall, the team together, storyline-wise, whether it was fighting together or fighting amongst each other, it worked.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
chemistry between the team as a whole was excellent.
You know what would have been cool? Martian Manhunter was there.
Look, when it comes to the story, I mean, essentially, the idea of it was for them to...
We need to scurry to get a group of 6 together to fight Steppenwolf.
Well, 5. They got a group of 5 together, like, okay, we have to take on Steppenwolf together. They do it.
Sorry, I can't count.
They take them on the first time and they lose. You know, they get their ass handed to them, and then they're like, well, these mother boxes, they can potentially bring back Superman, so we should do it. Diana's against the idea. Aquaman's against the idea. Flash is like, whatever.
Flash is like, I'm still like with Batman.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I thought was cool, because one of the things that this film is lacking that bothers me quite a bit is the deepness, the underlying tones and
it was a very shallow
themes and messages that Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel had. That was missing from this movie. However, Zack Snyder found a way to connect them. You know, in Batman vs Superman, there's the line that, you know, even if there's a 1% chance that, you know, Superman can turn against us, we have to take it at a complete certainty and basically to kill him, you know. In this movie, he goes, you know, even if there's a fraction of a chance this can bring him back to life, we have to do it. So it was kind of cool to, you know, the play on words, to do back and forth, you know, to kill him, to bring him back to life. That was cool. That was definitely a Zack Snyder line. And I loved it. You know, it's definitely excellent. But again, the underlying themes that we normally get in a Snyder film, at least in the DC universe, we didn't get in this movie. Like, I've seen it 3 times. I'm not seeing it. Maybe if I watch it a few more times, I'll find something, but I just don't see it. And that's kind of a problem with me with the movie, because that's what I love about Zack Snyder. You know, like, that's why I love Man of Steel so much, because of all the religious undertones and themes. And then Batman vs Superman continued it on. You don't get that here. That was kind of disappointing. So getting back to the story, so, you know, they get to the point of where they want to bring back Clark, and the reason why I come to this is because the resurrection of Clark Kent. And I know you want to talk about, so I'll let you go first. What did you think?
Lackluster. I mean, I could see where they'd be like, oh, this is gonna work. I don't like. Okay, I'm just gonna cut the crap. He beats the shit out of him when he gets brought back almost immediately. It's just like tearing assholes apart. But then he's just like, okay, cool, they bring the secret weapon in, I'm fine. That's not how that works. If you've been dead for how long was he dead?
I don't know, maybe a year.
So like a year, you're not gonna see one thing and be like, nope, come back to my senses, you know. Like it should have been. I was a huge fan of the Black Superman theory. Come back as a villain and then change your heart or something like that. That should have happened.
Lois is the key. Look,
yes.
Here's where
and I agree with that. But if he was to be revived, I don't know, by magically healing himself. Well, not magically, but regenning himself. Comes back, doesn't know what's going on because he's been dead for a year. Confused about everything, just going on a warpath. They try to fight him to stop him. Mm-hmm. You know, Steppenwolf's doing his thing, and they fight Superman. You know, he destroys them all. You know, sees Lois, flies off, still is having that internal battle with himself, making him a kind of deeper character than what he was in the film. You know, and then have him go off like he did, and then them going to fight Steppenwolf the way they did. That's how it could have been. And then like mid final battle, they'll be like, oh fuck, Superman, now we got 2 people to fight. And then it turns out that he's fighting Steppenwolf with him. Perfectly fine. That would have been so much better.
Yeah, I mean, I had a big issue with the resurrection of Clark Kent. And I say the resurrection of Clark Kent because it wasn't the resurrection of Superman. It was the resurrection of Clark Kent, or Kal-El even. And using the mother boxes, I get the idea behind it.
Exactly.
But what this does is the end of Batman vs. Superman is completely irrelevant at this point, because what got you at the edge of your seat at the end of the movie, which was probably the shining moment for the theatrical cut when I saw it, was that moment where, you know, you see Lois throw the dirt on top of the coffin, and the camera pans down, and then right before the credits roll, the dirt just rises a little bit, and then the credits roll with that dark music, and it was just like, oh, you know, and you're like, okay, I know that he's going to come back, but oh shit, they're going a different direction. Like, he's still alive right now. You know, like, you're thinking like, okay, there's something that's keeping him alive. And
but
like,
then you can also counter that to be like, well, he just died. That could be his energy still
thanks for giving them an idea. You know, I was kind of hoping that they would say, oh yeah, we fucked up. Now they're gonna be like, no, it's because he's still pushing.
But I mean, you have to counter it a little bit.
But like, I mean, how cool, like, look at it this way, how cool would it have been? All right, let's say this is the scenario, and again, what could have been, because this is my biggest quarrel with this movie, so I'm going to talk about it for a little bit.
I want to go down for the record. I'm actually having an intelligent DC conversation with you. That doesn't happen very often.
Imagine this, okay? Imagine everything that happens up to the point where they get beaten by Steppenwolf that first time happens. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, that all happens. They go back to the Batcave and are sitting there like, you know, we need to bring him back. And they're having this battle like, you know, should we do it, should we not? And they decide, yes, we're going to bring him back with the mother box. It's all misdirection at this point, because you're like, oh crap, they're going to bring him back with the mother box. So, you know, they're like, okay, this is what we got to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. They're working out how they're going to do all this, you know, and get everything figured out. And they're like, all right, Flash, Cyborg, go dig him up and meet us here. Flash and Cyborg get there. And what they notice is all of the land around the coffin is completely dead. It's just like the grass is dead. Flowers are dead. It's black. It's dark. And there's a hole where his coffin was. And he's gone.
No, I agree with that.
So yeah, so just stay with me here. Okay, so he's gone.
I'm on board with that.
So they're like, oh shit, hey guys, there's a problem.
They did an Abraham Lincoln.
And they're like, okay, well shit, what are we gonna do? You know, like, they don't know what to do. And then they hear something on the news that Superman is back. And you hear Superman is back. And on the news, you see a camera, and it's kind of shaky. And in this sky, you see this figure, but it's not with the blue and red cape. It's a dark figure. That's all you can see, is it's a dark figure, and he's flying around.
And
then all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh no, is that Zod?" And they're starting to think it's Zod because of the black.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh crap, is it Zod?" And they're like, "What are we gonna do?" Like, you know, the team's like, "What the hell?" So they make their way to Metropolis, and they go there as a team, and they're like, "What is going on? Like, who is this? Like, we have to take on, you know, another Kryptonian, like, what the hell's going on?" And they see him, and he's in his black suit, and he's just tearing shit up. He destroys the rest of his monument. He destroys the ship. Like, he's just destroying anything that reminds him of the pain that he suffered from dying. Just getting rid of that. Like, he's not killing people, but he's destroying all that shit. And the Justice League gets there, and they try to step in, and they're like, whoa. And that's when the fight starts happening with them. And they're fighting, and you know, you still get that great line that I thought, you know, Wonder Woman had, where she grabs him with her lasso, and she's like, you know, Kal-El, no, you know, last son of Krypton, no, like, Kal-El. Like, first off, I love her accent, and the way she says Kal-El is just like, like, melts my heart because of her accent. But like, have that kind of stuff. You can still have the scene where, you know, she runs up at him, he grabs her, he grabs Aquaman, and then the Flash is running, which is a phenomenal scene, because Flash, like, I'm gonna run behind him, and he starts running, and like, his eyes just move, and then he throws him, and he's like moving as fast as the Flash. You're like, holy fuck! Like, you can have that scene too. All of that could have happened by bringing him back that way. You don't need to explain why he's back to life. You don't. Like, you do not need to explain. You could have done something like that. You could have him come back unknown. Like, It just happened. Like maybe it's the mother boxes being activated, or maybe it's the boom tube, something.
Or he regens.
Or he just regens. But we don't need to know. We just don't need to know. You just have him come back in a black suit, tearing shit up, you know? Then it makes that scene in Batman vs Superman at the end with very meaningful with that rising, because if you were to go back then and watch Batman vs Superman and see that after you've seen Justice League, you're oh fuck, like yes, you know, you're gonna get excited. So you have that, and then the other scene with the Flash in Batman vs Superman where he goes back in time and goes, "Am I too early? Oh, I'm too early. Or did I go back too far? I'm too far. Whatever." You know. Bruce, you know, get the team together. It's important to get the team together. And Lois, she's the key. You were right about him. And it makes sense now because, look, you're right. Superman can tear shit up. You got to remember, Lois is the key. She's the one that can save him. You know, he's telling him that. Then that wouldn't even make sense. Now, I know I've talked to DJ from Nerd Talkalypse podcast. Hey, what's going on, guys? They just did a 2.5-hour review of Justice League.
God.
So definitely check them out. Also, after you're done listening to us, check out Nerd Talkalypse. Excellent podcast.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to their podcast yet for Justice League. I plan on doing it tonight.
They're probably going to go way more in depth than what we are.
But check them out. Excellent podcast. But I was talking to him after it. And I was like, dude, you know, that scene with the Flash coming back to Bruce in the Batcave in Batman vs Superman makes no sense now. And then he made a good point, like, well, it could just be at a different time later on. And he's right, because, you know, the Flash seems a little older, a little more confident, a little more comfortable with his abilities at that point in Batman vs Superman. In Justice League, he's stumbling over himself. He doesn't still understand his powers. He's not even called the Flash or anything. Like, he just doesn't know what he's doing. So, okay, I could buy that. So I can accept the idea that...
Well, aren't they doing a Flashpoint movie?
Yes.
That could be part of Flashpoint.
They could find a way. Yes, they can find a way to make that part of Flashpoint. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
that's way too far in the future.
We all believe that it was leading to Justice League. You know, that was going to be part of Justice League, and it's not. Again, that's fine. But it would have had a little meaning, because then you could have played a huge misdirect, and you could have been like, yeah, that scene of Batman vs Superman was about this, and then jump up in a couple years to Justice League 2 or Flashpoint and be like, oh shit, no, he's talking about this.
Exactly.
You know, and then it would have been all connected and convoluted and fun and great. And
deep, and everybody would have been happy.
But they didn't do that. But the resurrection of Clark Kent was very disappointing to me. Using the mother boxes to do it, the short little fight that he had with the Justice League, I will say the blows back and forth with him and Wonder Woman.
Him and Wonder Woman just...
DJ from Nerd Talkalypse, he was talking to me, and he was like, dude, that one moment where, you know, he headbutts her, and then she headbutts him, he was like, I stood up out of my chair a little bit, because it was that cool. I was like, I agree, that was a badass scene. Like, there's so many badass scenes in this movie, and there's a fun time. It's just... the story, they fucked up the story slightly, you know, and was that because of Joss Whedon stepping in?
Yeah.
Was it Zack Snyder? Like, to me, while this feels like a Zack Snyder film, this does not feel like a Zack Snyder vision. Like, I feel like he had something deeper that he wanted to do with Superman and his resurrection and everything like that. So I don't know. Like, what were the tweets that Henry Cavill made a year ago where he took a picture of the black suit that he was wearing? Yeah. Like, he tweeted out or put on Instagram that he was wearing a black suit. Like, could he have been just screwing around with people? Like, that was the black suit from Man of Steel, because he wore one in Man of Steel. Or could he have actually shot something with a black suit and they decided against it?
Yeah, they cut it out.
Like, that would piss me off, you know, because that I wanted to see that. You wanted to see that.
I also wanted to see Martian Manhunter, and, you know, didn't get to see any of that.
Yeah. Now, the idea of Lois being the big guns, because they were trying to do some misdirection, because they didn't want to use, I have the key for that, you know, if he comes back and not all there. They tried to say big guns, and I knew immediately that it was Lois that he was talking about. And again, I felt it was just too easy. Mm-hmm. Like, what he was doing with Batman, like, imagine him in a black suit holding Batman's face.
Literally by the face.
By the face. And he's like, you know, he's like, the world needs you. And he's like, but do they need you? Tell me, do you bleed?
And he starts to crush it.
And, like, I was like, holy shit. Like, imagine him in a black suit saying that.
Yeah, and not to mention just completely decimated the rest of
Exactly. And maybe make it where he doesn't, he's starting to squeeze, and like Wonder Woman intervenes and he drops Batman. Don't bring Lois back into it yet. You know, don't make it where they're calling in Lois. Make it where Lois saw on TV, just like everybody else did, that this being is back. She makes her way to Metropolis, and he just, like, he's fighting, and he just looks and he sees her. And, like, he starts to, like, shake a little bit, like, what's going on? Like, he's starting to, like, like his head, like there's
He's
something
becoming
in his head.
coherent.
Yeah, and he's like, what's going on? And he goes, and she's like, Clark, and he goes over and like he grabs her and just flies away. Like that's it, you know. Yeah. And the League's like, shit. So about that bringing Superman back.
Yeah. Do we fuck ourselves now or later?
So, you know, like to me, like that would have been, you know, a lot more.
That would have been way significantly better than what
way
we got.
better, yeah. Then jumping to the Return of Superman, because, like I said, in the movie, it was the resurrection of Clark Kent and the Return of Superman. There was no resurrection of Superman.
Yeah.
There just wasn't, and that's what really hit me, though. At the end of the movie, again, it was predictable. I knew that Superman was going to show up at the end of the movie, and at a time where they felt all was lost.
And I just the amount of OP, like,
here's what makes me mad. It's not that he was OP. Honestly, I want him to be stronger than he was before when he comes back. What I don't like is how much stronger he was than Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, I understand that Wonder Woman and Superman, they can go toe to toe. They can. In the comics, they have. They should still now. And you got to remember, she was created by the gods. She's essentially one of the embodiment of a god. That's what Wonder Woman is.
Yeah, she has the body of a god.
So, you know, I mean, she should be close to the same power as Superman. You know, and even the Return of Superman. Like, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the portrayal of Superman when he came back. You know, he was happy. He was fun. He was laughing. His suit.
Yeah.
Look, man. I got so excited because it was the bright blue. You know, the yellow
Superman suit.
The yellow in behind the S was bright yellow. You know, it was great. Like, the suit looked phenomenal for Superman. And if you look at the movies, and I said I was going to point this out. You know, Man of Steel was a darker suit, a little more somber. You know, in Batman vs. Superman, it got a little bit brighter, but not much.
Yeah.
This was all a build up to the Superman that we know and love, you know, and that was the whole point about it. And that's why I think it would have been even cooler to see the black suit Superman earlier. Yeah. And then, boom, you see this bright blue, you know, and
it would
red
have stuck
cape.
Out more.
Absolutely. And look, it may have been a little, not predictable, but a little cheesy, maybe. But what I think would have been cool is to somehow found a way to make it where he came back and he was in front of the sun, you know, so that ray of hope, is shining down, you know, like, to me,
angelic like.
Exactly. Make it angelic like, make it very godlike, because that is what they've been pushing for 2 movies. They were pushing the parallels between him and Jesus. So making him, you know, have a resurrection of Superman, not Clark, but a resurrection of Superman similar to Jesus, where, you know, they go, he's gone already. You know, that's very similar to Jesus. You know, when they go to find Jesus, he's gone.
3 days,
You know, he's gone. So they go and Superman's gone. However, the difference is here is Jesus came back and he was evil.
Jesus didn't come back with a minigun and 2 M16s.
But, you know, that's the difference. But again, you have to have the differences. You know, you don't want to do it exactly the same. So you have him come back evil. But then whenever he is Superman, it's angelic. It's bright. It's beautiful. It's something that would evoke an emotion in you that you know, to a point you may want to cry. And like, that's really what I wanted to feel. Like, I wanted to feel going into this movie, like, I wanted them to, when Superman came back, I wanted to have a tear in my eye, and I didn't have that. And again, that's my biggest issue with this movie, is the improper use of bringing Clark and Superman back. They just didn't do it right. Again, the final fight with Steppenwolf and everything like that, I felt was good. It was a good fight, but like I said, I felt Wonder Woman was underpowered compared to Superman. Superman, I think, is at the power he should be at.
Yes, but literally he comes in 3 punches and Steppenwolf's like done.
Yeah.
And I even asked you this, and I was like, Wonder Woman's on par with Superman, right?
Yeah.
Like, because if that's the logic, then she should have been able to handle him literally by herself.
Yeah, a little bit better. So, like, I think it would have been cool, like, if he would have came back and, maybe have been a little OP like that. Yeah. But then Steppenwolf was like, oh, here's my true power.
Yeah, and then, like,
he unleashes. You know, not transforms or anything, but he unleashes, like, you know?
He's like, Goku's like, haha, I've been holding back.
Yeah. He takes off his helmet and he just gains, like, over 9,000.
Yeah. Drops the helmet, falls 50 feet through Earth, and just, like, starts to take off a little bit of his clothes.
But, you know, that kind of stuff would have been cool. Now,
I mean, don't get me wrong, Wonder Woman and Aquaman handling their own in the final fight was awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
I think, and I honestly think it was extremely fitting that Wonder Woman technically got the final blow on Steppenwolf. You know, like, heck, say final blow because, you know, Superman blows the cold air on the axe, and then Wonder Woman smashes the axe, and then he has fear, and the parademons then go after him because the parademons feed on fear. Again, I like that aspect of it.
Yes.
You know, I think it made the parademons a little bit more of a character than, say, the Chitauri in the Marvel movies. Like, they were just meaningless pawns that just got killed in Avengers. You know, that where the parademons, they actually have a reason why they're doing what they're doing because they feed on fear and stuff like that. I liked that aspect of it. You know, the Flash. Here's the big thing: they had nothing for the Flash to do at the end of the movie. Like, literally, there was nothing for him to do. So what did they do? They shoehorned this family in that they kept showing us like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie.
I definitely thought they would play more of a role, like that little family.
And it was all just about that when everything was coming to an end, that Flash had to rescue him. And then they don't even, like, make it that important because, like, you're like, okay, this could be an important scene where he rescues him. And then they have to play a joke where...
Yeah, Superman carries a whole fucking school in one hand.
Which, again, is very Superman. And I loved it. But it kind of ruined Flash.
It undermined Flash.
You know, and it's just like they gave nothing for Flash.
They should have, at that moment when Batman was like, there's civilians, you know, east, go rescue them. And you know, just Flash, and then him just being like, rescue everybody you can. And just have Flash literally running through and give him a truckload of people instead of 4.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And just have Superman focus on the fight or whatever. I mean, give him some credit.
But no, the thing I like. But again, I like that aspect of Superman, and it's tough because this has to do with poor writing, and it doesn't seem like Zack Snyder writing because that moment where Superman's like, civilians, they need help, and Bruce is like, and Batman's like, look, Barry's got it. He's like, it won't be enough. He won't be able to save them all, and he goes, that's a Superman thing. Don't show it.
Yeah.
Let Flash have his moment. Don't show Superman, you know, and then show the team still struggling, and then Superman comes back and helps them. Like, I would have been okay with that, you know, or even if, like, you would have had Flash's moment, and then you would have had Superman, like, carrying, like, a family on his shoulders and setting them down, and, like, see ya, and then he goes.
Right next to the truck, and then boom, they both go back to the fight. Not, oh, hey, Superman somehow made it back 15 minutes before the Flash did.
Yeah, and even that, like, because the Flash is faster, and we're going to get into that with the post-credit scenes, but the Flash is technically faster than Superman. But story-wise, again, it was a good story. It was a strong story. The introduction of Commissioner Gordon was good, I think. You know,
it's a strong story after we just shit on it.
J.K. Simmons was... J.K. Simmons is a great Gordon. I can't wait to see more. And I didn't shit on this story. Just one aspect of it was really shitty to me, you know, and that's just the resurrection of Superman.
I will say the unnecessary comedy, like I said before. The, how was it? Honestly, itchy.
Again, but that's the dialogue. And that's the Josh Whedon dialogue.
That completely ruined all of the emotion.
Like,
there was another one that she said too, and I can't remember.
It was you smell good.
Yeah, like that just destroyed that whole emotional scene right there. It's like, calm down, Marvel. We get it. You're funny. Calm down.
So, the story. I think I'm going to stop with story there. And we talked a good bit about it. What are we up to now?
We're about a minute. Yeah, about a minute. An hour and 7.5 minutes. A minute and 7 minutes.
A minute and 7 minutes and a half.
that's what wanted to come out.
So as I just said, you can tell there are some differences with Zack Snyder and Josh Whedon. So we're gonna get into the directing of the film. What did you think of the direction of the film? Like, what did you think of? And when I say the direction, like, was it a beautiful looking film? Were there things that you liked? You know, cinematically. Like,
I mean, it looked pretty. It looked pretty when it had to look pretty. Like, Themyscira was still.
Themyscira is great.
Yeah, and gorgeous as always. That's
actually the one thing I want to talk. Like, what do you think of the action? And this is what I want to talk about Themyscira.
It looked good. Sorry, it looked good when it needed to. Like,
look, Themyscira. That whole scene was maybe my favorite fight scene. I mean, I take that back. Maybe the resurrection of Clark was probably my favorite fight scene with the heroes because that was such a great scene.
Yeah.
Even though I hated how they brought back Clark, but. That Themyscira stuff, man. Like,
Themyscira was always
beautiful. Like, they're running with the mother box on the horse, and then there's that one moment where they throw it, and then the chick gets on the ground, lassos it up, ties the rope around her arrow, then shoots the arrow, and it flies. Like,
Yeah, like that's awesome.
Only Zack Snyder. Only Zack Snyder. I'm gonna say Zack Whedon. Only Zack Snyder.
They fused.
They got the Pataro rings, but
we didn't talk about Super this week.
No, that's next week. But they only Zack Snyder can make a scene like that so badass. Like it's them riding horses running away from Steppenwolf, but it was one of the most badass scenes that I've ever seen in action scenes. Like it's so good.
Even when defeated, she still drew an arrow.
And like Queen Hippolyta, like, you know, she's like determined. Like she knows that she could be killed by Steppenwolf at any moment, but she just doesn't fucking care. She just keeps doing
it's
what
bigger
she has
than
to do.
her.
Exactly. And
even Atlantis was pretty.
Yeah,
from what we've seen, we didn't really see too much of it.
When you talk about the directing, like that was Zack Snyder completely. That was Zack Snyder. You know, you take a look at the scenes in Gotham, Zack Snyder. Like that's Snyder. Atlantis, Zack Snyder. Like that stuff. Those scenes, those action scenes, are all Snyder.
I will say they missed the opportunity with the Worlds in Mourning and the whole Superman.
Oh yeah,
they missed that whole.
Well, the problem that happened there.
Accidentally
we'll get into it. We'll get into it because it's further down that I talk about that. But the dialogue is very Joss Whedon. It really is. I've said that multiple times. There are a couple scenes that you can definitely tell were reshoots that Whedon did over Zack. Mainly, like I said, was the whole time where Bruce is talking to Arthur Curry in the shipyard, and then there's that moment where they walk and Arthur walks into the water, and then there's just this scene where for some reason it's just like almost a freeze frame on Arthur Curry, and Jason Momoa, who plays Arthur Curry, he just stands there and he just smiles.
Yeah. And
then it's a real weird like backward dive that just looked really stupid into the water. I was like, that's not a Zack Snyder shot.
Yeah, no, that's a 7-year-old that got a camera.
Yeah. So it was that you can definitely tell some things there. Overall, the tone, the feel is a Zack Snyder film. It just, because I know that there's two directors doing it, I can actually pick out, because I've watched all of Zack Snyder films multiple times. I know what kind of director he is, and I can see what is his scene and what isn't. And like my mom, for instance, I took my mom to see it on Saturday, and she didn't see any differences. Like she couldn't tell the difference. Like I asked her, I was like, "Hey, could you tell two directors made?" She says, "Not at all." So for the casual fan, fine. For somebody like me who's obsessed, I could see the differences. So that's all there is. I mean, directing wise, I think it was done well enough. It could have been better if Zack Snyder was able to finish it. If Snyder could finish it, I think it would have been better. All right, acting. I know we talked about the characters, but how do you think that they were portrayed? Don't go into what they.
No, they were pretty. Like, I mean, we got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. That I think the Flash was pretty good. Cyborg, he was pretty good. I mean, I think everybody was played fairly well. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints.
I just think I like Momoa as Aquaman. I heard a couple people complain about Momoa, and I think that he did a fine job. I just think that some people, it was a little bit of a shock for them for Aquaman to be like that. Yeah, I think he did a great job, or a really good job. Ezra Miller, I really, really liked him as the Flash. Like I said in my written review, at the end I was like, Grant Gustin, who? Because I think that Ezra Miller is a better Flash or better Barry Allen. No, he's a better Barry Allen than Grant Gustin is. I think they're about equal as being Flash, but I think Ezra Miller's a better Barry Allen. Ray Fisher as Cyborg. Look.
The voice.
The voice is fantastic. He does say booyah one time in it, and it's at the end, and I loved it. He
fist pump for equality.
That's one of the funny things that happened, like a good funny thing. But like he was just fantastic. Like you could feel the pain. As
of him feeling like he's a freak.
Exactly, and they did the right thing because they got a theater actor. Like he did theater. He wasn't in movies or anything like that. They got a theater actor to do this, and that was a great idea because the emotion that he brought and the pure I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, but he just was excellent in the role. Like he did a fantastic job. The CGI of Cyborg I thought was fine. I know a lot of people are worried about that, but that doesn't ruin his
that doesn't ruin the character at all.
His portrayal at all. Like, he is fantastic, and I want to see more. And I can see why there was talk a while ago of a possible Flash and Cyborg team-up movie. After the way the two played off each other in this film, I would love to see it. You know, like, make it like a Lethal Weapon. Like, that would be awesome, you know? So
I could see that.
Exactly.
I can get behind that, too.
Lethal Weapon 5, The Flash and Cyborg.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
All right. So we're going to move to my biggest area of complaints for the film. The music.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do you want to talk first, or you just want me to go?
You can just go, because I mean, the music wasn't amazing, but it was good enough for me. You're way more of a music buff than I am.
All right. So the music was an important aspect coming into this movie. Why? Because Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL created such an amazing sound for this universe already. I mean, with Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, there isn't. I mean, there are better soundtracks out there, but when it comes to superhero movies, there's no better soundtrack than Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. I still think Batman vs Superman is slightly better than Man of Steel soundtrack-wise, but they're phenomenal, and that's Zimmer and Junkie XL. And I was worried the day, and you can ask anybody, the day they announced Danny Elfman was doing the music.
Yeah, you were just so disappointed.
I was disgusted, and for good reason, because I wasn't wrong. The score is at best forgettable. At best, it's forgettable.
Sheesh.
And there is one scene in the movie when they're on the rooftop where they use the 1989's Batman theme. And I'm excited. I got excited. I'm not going to lie. But it's hardly there. Like, it's one of those things that if you're not listening, you're going to miss it type of moments. Mm-hmm. And I liked it. I didn't hate that. But that was it. That was it. Look, besides that, the music did nothing. It did nothing to improve the movie. Like, you take the music... Take Man of Steel. That first flight of Superman and Man of Steel... Imagine putting a Danny Elfman soundtrack behind that. It would sound like shit. It would the movie, like, that scene would be
ruined.
Ruined, exactly. He did nothing to improve this movie. There's not a scene in this movie that is improved by his score. Mm-hmm. All right. Yes, I'm excited about the Batman 1989 Batman theme in that moment. If that wasn't there, it wouldn't have ruined the scene for me. And possibly it could have been better because I was distracted by hearing it. You know, so it could have been better for me. There was 3 moments in the movie that I negatively got pulled out of the movie from it. One was the moment they first show the Kryptonian ship. All of a sudden, the music gets really Marvel-y, and it's like real distracting and very, very like Tim Burton-esque. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. The other part was the resurrection of Clark Kent. There's a moment where Danny Elfman slaps all the John Williams fans in the face by playing John Williams' famous Superman score from 1978. And he plays it so muted and monotoned and shitty and dark. Like, John Williams' Superman theme was about hope. It was about showing and making you believe a man could fly. That's what John Williams' theme was about. So bringing it back, okay, I was against the idea of bringing it back, but if you bring it back, bring it back. Don't fucking change it up and make it what it's not, because that doesn't do it justice. It's, like I said, a slap in the face to all the people who loved it. Yeah,
that's like literally shitting on the legacy.
Exactly. And that's what Danny Elfman did with this music. He shit on John Williams' legacy. And it's a shame. It's a damn shame. Like, DC and Warner Brothers, I'm telling you right now, you guys better be fucking listening to this, because if Danny Elfman is attached to any other DC movie from here on out, you probably won't get my money, because he like, thank God this movie had Zack Snyder attached to it to make me enjoy it enough to want to go back and see this movie. But a Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman with Danny Elfman, not going to see it. You know, I'm not going to see a James Wan movie, Aquaman movie, if Danny Elfman does the music. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. And that's a bold statement from me, because
damn,
I love the DC universe.
Hold on. Is it sunny outside? There's a whole bunch of shade in here. Just got weirdly dark.
So, for the love of God, remove Elfman from the DCEU completely, forever, and for good. Please. Just please do it. Please. Please.
Do you like that? What I said? You look like you were having a little bit of a rough time.
So,
you better?
Do you have anything that you want to touch on music?
I mean, I'm not as big of a music person as you are. I don't really listen to the music. Like, when I see it in theaters, I don't really focus on the music as much as I should.
Yeah.
I know that I don't, and I acknowledge that I don't, and I know I should. I'm more focused on the story and that aspect of the movie, and not like if I see it on DVD, when I buy it and I watch it at home, I'll be like, oh man, music fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, each time that I watched the movie this past weekend, the music just was worse and worse to me.
Yeah,
it pulled me out more and more. It was just bad. Oh yeah, let me not forget. He ruined Wonder Woman's theme.
Hold on, let me find another meme.
Like, how do you ruin Wonder Woman's theme? The most badass theme that we've gotten in years, probably 10, 15 years. In
and
superhero movies, and he poops on it. He mutes it. He takes away the electric cellos. He mutes the percussion, and now you just hear a bunch of violins playing the string part. No, it should be loud, in your face, badass when Wonder Woman is coming. That's what it should be like, and he fucks it up. So, all right, I'm done. What would you rate the movie out of 10?
Out of 10? I'd say it's a good 8.5. I'd give it that. I'd give it
1.5 points taken away for music. That's all I took away from it because I wanted to take more away from it. But I gave myself seeing it 3 times to give my official score, to say this is my official score.
I saw it twice.
And I saw it 3 times, and after that 3rd time, I was like, okay, so here's my score. The movie is fun. It's exciting. There's great moments of action. There's comic book moments that will make
it's a superb comic book movie.
Yes. The story again is decent. It's good. The story is good. They fuck up the resurrection of Superman
and some of the dialogue.
And some of the dialogue's weak. But I can get past that because of all the good that's in the movie. Mm-hmm. The biggest detractor is the music. And like I said, I take away 1.5 points from the music, and I'd say 0.5 point for the bad dialogue. The other parts, the resurrection of Clark, the fight that happens kind of redeems it a little bit, between all of them. I wish it was better, the black suit, all that stuff, yes. But I had so much fun, and I come out of that movie happy. I walked out of the theater excited. My kids, I looked at their faces and they were happy that they saw that movie. Yeah. My mom had a little trouble following the story a little bit because she's not a comic book nerd, and stuff like that.
Did she even see the other two?
She did, yeah. Okay. But the thing that really got her was just the jumping around, the scene cutting, which is the editing. They did poor editing. If it was a longer film, she may have gotten it a little bit better.
It would have been an easier flow.
She didn't really understand the going back to when Steppenwolf was there before and stuff like that because there wasn't a long enough explanation. She said, though, the moment that Superman or Clark came back, that's when it clicked. So the last 35-40 minutes she was able to follow and really enjoyed. My kids loved it. Like I said, my 3-year-old daughter loved it when she saw Superman in the suit. She was like, it's Superman. She was excited. My kids enjoyed it. So
you're like, oh, I'll give you 10 years and then you'll really enjoy stuff.
But I give it, and I'm gonna stop just talking about it. I give it an 8 out of 10. I do.
I think it's a fair score.
I give it an 8 out of 10. Even though how much I hate the music, there's enough in this movie that I enjoy that makes me go back and want to see it again and again and again. And it's just the way it is. I love the portrayal of the characters. I love. I take that back. There's 2 moments with Batman that I really hated. There was a moment where he had this really dumb open mouth smile when Superman came back at the end of the movie. Really, that's not a smile that Batman would ever do. And then the moment whenever after Clark throws Batman down and goes with Lois and flies away, and he goes, "Oh, yep. Something's definitely bleeding." Like, no, that's not a Batman. That's not a Batman thing that he would say. Not this Batman.
Yeah. Well, it's even like the one true fact thing I read because I do all the media posts, so I've fucking sifted through 10 million photos of DC facts. when Lois Lane, when Wonder Woman used her lasso against Superman and Batman, she was like, "What's your true identity?" And I can't pronounce his real name.
Kal-El?
Yeah, I can't pronounce that. And then Batman went, "Batman."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's Batman, not. Oh man, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I'm fucked up. Oh god.
Yeah, so I give it an 8 out of 10. One thing I forgot to mention, I said I was going to mention, were the suit, Batman suit. There's a reason why he does wear a new suit in this movie. It's because he is banged up, and this suit that he wears is actually a little more protective because he's so banged up, and you can definitely tell it's protective. He doesn't say it's more protective, but he's fucking huge whenever he's wearing it. He looks ripped in this thing. Like, he's huge. So you can definitely tell it's a little more protective, and that's probably why he wears and changes into that suit. So, that's the thing. I mean, this movie, go see it. If you are on the edge of seeing it or not seeing it, go see it. You're going to enjoy it because every fan, every person that's been in the theaters that I've been in the 3 times have loved it. I'm probably going to see it at least one more time in theaters this week, and I just expect the fans to continuously enjoy it. I really do. Now, very important that you do stay through the credits because there are 2 scenes. There's a mid-credits and a post-credits scene. I'm going to talk about the mid-credits scene first. Colton, what did you think?
I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice little fun.
I mean, it's straight out of a comic book.
Yeah,
page.
15-second scene.
I mean, and what it is it cuts to Flash and Superman on a dirt road, and they're standing there, and they're like, Flash is like, "Thank you for doing this, man," and Superman's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of interested myself," and you're like, "Oh snap, they're gonna race," and the Flash is like, this isn't, for competition. Or, no, it is a competition, but, I mean, nothing serious here. It's just for fun,
Yeah.
And Superman's like, what are you talking about? If you lose, you're off the team. And Flash is like, wait, what?
And, like, Superman cracks a smile at him.
He cracks a smile, and then, they talk about which way they want to go, and then they race, and it's there's a scene about the Pacific Coast or whatever.
No, the Flash goes... if I win, I can tell everybody.
Oh, yeah.
If you win, and Superman's like, if I win, you gotta take us all out to what Batman called brunch.
Yeah, brunch. Yeah.
And Flash is like, I feel honestly betrayed right now.
That's cold. But I mean, it's definitely a good, lighthearted scene. That it's definitely Superman. It's definitely Flash, and it's straight out of the comics.
Yeah, I was gonna say it felt like a comic book scene,
and I loved it. Like, I loved it so much. And obviously, they start the race, but you don't see it finish.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be something that's alluded.
Flash does run really awkwardly.
Yeah, no. He like flails.
Yeah, he's like flailing. Like, it's weird.
Such poor run form.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't go back in time. He hasn't mastered his running form yet. Makes complete sense.
Now, the post-credit scene.
Just knocked my coat over.
The post-credit scene. Dude, I got so excited. And so did everybody else in the theater.
Oh, yeah. No, everybody. Are we going to say it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Deathstroke? Is that Deathstroke? That literally everybody.
The 2 times you and I saw it together, people were like, is that Deathstroke? Really? Is it
The second time we're like, yeah.
But, it's one of those things like...
I knew it was instantly him the first time we saw it.
I got spoiled, what was it? 2 days before we went and saw the movie, or 3 days before we saw the movie, because comicbook.com decided to post, like, look at concept art of Deathstroke for Justice, or no, it says look at concept art for Deathstroke. That's all it said. The headline was look at concept art for Deathstroke. And I was like, oh, I guess it's the concept art that they had for the Batman movie that, he's written out of. I click on the link and I open it up, and then the rest of the headline is look at concept art for Deathstroke in Justice League. And there's a picture of him there. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, you legit threw your phone that day.
I threw my phone. I was so pissed because then I was like, great, now I know he's in the movie. Then, of course, we get through the whole movie and he's not there. I was like, damn it, he's in the post-credit scene.
And that post-credit scene was really good.
But it's really cool because it starts off with them trying to call Luthor, and I'm guessing it's Arkham. I don't know. It could just be another mental institute.
I don't know.
And
did he make it to Arkham?
Yeah, I don't know. But there's a guard calling for him, and he doesn't come out. They go see, and it's not Luthor that's there. It's some other bald guy. And then it cuts to a scene of a boat. Now, I thought at first that it was Deathstroke that actually rescued Luthor, which I think would have been even more badass. Like, because he's a mercenary. He's somebody for hire. Like he hired him to save him, and that would have been cool. But either way, it's still so cool scene because you see Deathstroke and he pulls up to a yacht and he comes walking up the steps and he's just in the full Deathstroke, garb with his swords and his mask and everything like that. And Luther's sitting there like, how was your ride and blah, blah, blah. And, he then talks about, I've just been sitting here, watching Superman raise from the dead and, starting his own league. And he's like, don't you think it's time?
I watched God rise up again.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
And he's like, don't you think it's time for us to start a league of our own or something? He says something like that. And then you see, Deathstroke take off his mask and you see Slade Wilson and it's Joe Manganiello, Magic Mike or whatever you want to call him, is standing there and he's just like, I was like, holy fuck, is that Deathstroke? Like, and then he talked, I think he said one word and I was like,
that's Deathstroke.
That's Deathstroke. Like, I know Manu Bennett has done an excellent job on Arrow and the Arrowverse on CW, but God, casting is perfect for Deathstroke here, and it's opening up the world. Luthor's back. He's more Luthor than he was in Batman vs Superman. He's wearing the really nice suits. He's bald. He's talking, being very sophisticated, drinking champagne. Like they made a point to make him look more sophisticated, like the Luthor from the comics. And that's great. But what excited me the most is there was a lot of rumors that since they cut him from the movie, that they were talking about recasting him later on. And this means they're not, because they're keeping Jesse Eisenberg, who I think is an excellent Lex Luthor. They're keeping him around. So I'm happy about that. So, yeah.
No Martian Manhunter, man. Even though I am kind of excited, though, the moment we was it the first time or was it the second time we left? But I pulled up a thing that was like the producer of Justice League's looking into a Martian Manhunter and standalone. I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah. He wants a Martian Manhunter movie really bad, but he doesn't even know anything about Martian Manhunter.
Doesn't matter. He's a green dude from Mars. That's all I need.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Again, like I said, definitely check out our buddy's podcast, Nerd Talkalypse. It's excellent. He's got a 2.5 hour long Justice League review episode. I haven't listened to it yet, but all of his podcasts are excellent, so I'm looking forward to hearing it. So you guys should check it out as well.
Are we ever going to do a mashup with him?
I want to. If you do,
we're calling you out. Come at us, bro.
And if you guys do check out his podcast and you decide to review it, just throw down there like, hey, got a recommendation from the remote control. You guys are excellent. Just because we like each other, we want to cross promote. We're cool. We love each other. It's great. Good times, man.
Also,
good times.
Also, do not forget to or subscribe to YouTube and all that stuff for our print Leia on a speeder giveaway.
Yeah, for our Star Wars Talk podcast, we're giving away a Leia on a speeder bike pop figure. We're giving it away the week of Star Wars Episode 8 releasing. So
12/10.
So the week of the 10th, 12/10, we're going to be giving it away. All you need to do is connect to us in some way. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Review us on YouTube. Review us on iTunes. Connect to us on iTunes. Subscribe. Join our Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter.
Like
us on Instagram. Anything.
Yeah, just start, just get in contact with us and start following us, and that's how you're going to be entered in. So that way we have a whole bunch of names to give it away, and give it away now.
Yeah, give it away now.
Give it away. So we're going to give it away now. And I hope you guys all like it. We like doing these giveaways.
It is a GameStop exclusive that's not even out as of recording.
Yeah, so we will have it in our possession within the next few days, and that's about that. Yeah. So, I could just say, hey, subscribe to us here, follow us here, do all that stuff, but it's all going to be down at the bottom, so make sure you do all that. Yeah. One other thing.
Give it away now.
We're going to give away, we also haven't given away that magazine yet from Donald Booth. He is from Crunchum's God damn it. Crunchum's Custom Cosplay. Thank you. Crunchum's Custom Cosplay. All you need to do is like his page and then just let us know that you heard on the remote control, and then we are going to give it away. We're going to extend it one more week. So next week, if you want to like his page, Crunchum Custom Cosplay, we'll link it down at the bottom as well. And we'll give away this magazine. Give it away now. It is cosplay culture, and it's just really cool. It's got a lot of cosplay stuff in there. If you're interested in cosplay, you can see a bunch of people dressed up as Punisher, Wolverine, and Deadpool and stuff like that. And we never even talked about the Deadpool trailer this week, but we'll talk about it next week. So
Well, that's on you, my guy.
With all of that said, thanks for listening. Let us know what you think down in the comments on Facebook and Twitter and everything like that. And
like, follow, subscribe.
All that stuff. Yeah. So thanks. I've been Robert. With me, as always, is...
Yo boy, Skinny Penis.
And I will talk to you later.